穷家昌家，穷家昌家，
Hi, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the patch 4.2 EU GITCG First Weekly. I'm your host, Zillowy, and it's great to be back. This will be my second time here, and I'm really excited to see what the players have up for us today. And I'm also joined by my co-caster, Toji. Hi, Toji.
Hello. I am Toji, a member of the KQM staff team and a new face to the GITCG staff team. And this is also my second stream ever. I'm so excited for patch 4.2 because Dori is finally in the game.
The scammer has finally made it here.
I can't wait to see Dori. I haven't checked to see how many Dori decks there are, but I'm sure there's at least one. So I'm very
Someone
excited
is out there against the world.
out there against all of the EU players. we'll see what Kevin's cooking against the EU players soon. And with that
Yes,
being said,
truly
here's
interesting.
today's format. Players will lock in with one deck and duel 5 total rounds, each one matching with players of a similar win rate. The player who goes undefeated will receive $10 of in-game purchases.
That's right. We do not have a patch schedule yet, so please stay tuned to our server and social medias for our announcements. And, well, besides...
Honestly, I'm very excited for the new cards, but I'm also so excited to see what happens with Kevin's deck.
Yes, a truly interesting deck list, to the
It
point
is-
where someone was just, why?
It is
Why would you
terrifying.
unleash this upon us? Yeah, so
And
those of
Kevin's
you
deck
who
is
might not
honestly
understand what we're
terrifying.
talking about, the person editing the deck list dump named Kevin Z's deck Kevin why? Just that, just those two words there.
It hurt
It's
them so
really
badly.
ominous. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
am very
in
excited for
terms
the
of
new cards.
yeah, in terms of the new cards, besides Dori, we also have Nilou and Baizhu. Definitely, we've seen a lot of those in those casual play, but we will have to see how they
Nilou's.
fare in this week.
We were trying to count the Nilou decks earlier, and Zillow somehow managed to count 3 too many.
Don't remind me, please.
Math is not our strong suit. But I am very excited to see
Genshin player's
Nilou
nightmare.
in TCG finally, just because I love her. She's so pretty. I just love any Hydro character though.
Yeah, I mean, Hydro characters, they all have that amazing drip. No pun intended.
And then of course Baizhu. I don't think Baizhu is nearly as popular, at least here, but we will definitely be seeing Baizhu
He seems
as well,
to be
I'm sure.
being used in a lot of Nilou decks, but not as much in outside of that. I mean, it's sort of understandable, I suppose. He has really good Dendro application, with that burst lasting for about 3 turns.
I mean, what I've been seeing
more...
is like either Nahida or Baizhu, so we'll see.
Yeah, Nahida is definitely one of the strongest Dendro characters so far. It's going to be a really tough challenge to that position for her.
I mean, we'll see how they perform, because there is definitely versions with both Baizhu and Nilou. So I mean, version with both Baizhu and Nahida. So we'll see how the Dendro characters
Yes.
duke it out today.
Yeah,
It would be
definitely
funny
going to
if
be
we
an interesting
got
game.
like a mirror match of Nilou Bloom, but with Nahida on one and Baizhu on the other. Let's see which Dendro character wins.
Yeah, I mean, Nilou as a card herself, outside of Bloom, she does actually have quite a bit going for her. As, yeah, like her burst actually does quite a decent amount of damage with that unique effect.
Do we have any non-Bloom, Nilou Bloom decks though? I don't think we do.
Yes, I believe Flareon is using a Nilou Vape team with Klee, Nilou, and Candice. So really unconventional, and I'm really excited to see what they can be cooking up for us today.
It's so unconventional, I can't find it. Oh, I found it.
It's near the top, yeah.
I love Klee. I'm so glad to see her. Honestly,
yeah, I mean, who can't love her, right? Just a bundle of sunlight.
I'm so excited to see Klee and Dori. I'm not sure if there's any decks with Klee and Dori, because honestly, I don't think that's a very popular action. But and we are starting with our very first match.
Oh my god, you predicted it. It's a blue matchup. It's blue mirror match.
It's not Nahida. It's the chicken.
Oh no. The Dendro chicken has returned. So yeah, this is looking really interesting at the start. We can see Koshinoko setting up Baiju's Gossamer Sprite to get that double Dendro application at the very start. And already spreading Dendro to both Nilou and possibly the chicken by the end of this turn.
Green chicken.
Yeah, so chicken as a card, it does have much higher damage, personal damage than Baizhu, but its Dendro application as a solo Dendro in the unit is actually relatively low, especially considering how you need to be mindful of those radical vitality stacks and not letting them hit max before you can use your burst. So honestly, it's more of a high risk, high reward play, I'd say.
I know we had 9 Nilou Bloom decks, but I did not expect the very first match to be a mirror match. Oh,
Yeah.
and seems like
Hopefully we'll get to see both at their strongest today.
Koshinoko has already set up some Dendro cores.
Yeah, and it looks like both will be using Storm Terror's Lair, a new action card that we have also been seeing a lot in this new patch.
What does Storm Terror's Lair do?
Yeah, so Storm Terror's Lair is an interesting card. It has 3 usages, and it gives you a discount whenever you want to use a talent or a skill that costs 4 or more elemental dice. So this would apply to stuff like Aleph's elemental 3-hit combo or Baizhu's Burst. So something like, yeah. So it will give you a 1 dice discount once per round up to 3 times. And it also lets you draw a talent card upon use, so it's a very high value card.
I see. And there's Koshinoko's deck list, in case anyone was wondering. But I'm very scared of that side of the board right now, because they are piling up summons. I mean, it is Oceanid.
Yeah, they've
still.
already got all those summons stacking up. The Bloom Core is going to be self-sustaining from this point on. And Vel is going to be quite pressured to get those Bloom cycles started up. So with running Oceanid and Jade Plume, there is that possibility of drawing Abyssal Summons, which will allow for a lot more reactions than just Bloom. But it does not seem like they have it on hand yet. They might want to use that Leaven possibly to get more draw and get those Abyssal Summons out as soon as possible. They also have the Goba Arcane, which is a really strong draw card that has been seen in almost every deck recently, if I'm not wrong. Thus getting so many cards drawn for free late in the game is an amazing benefit.
What exactly does it do then?
Yeah. So actually what it does is it draws a number of cards based on the round number. So if the later you play into the game, the more cards you will draw. It does cap out at 4 though. So yeah, at most you can draw up to 4 cards at once, but for 0 dice that is just a really high amount of value.
Wait, that's double the strategize card for...
Yeah, and strategize
free?
costs 1 dice.
For free? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's amazing. Of course, you do end up having to give up stuff like Covenant of Rock, but for most decks, I would say it's a huge win, as it's very versatile, you can use it in almost
an
every
arcane
game.
card after all.
Yep.
But...
And looks like we have Vel's card on the side here.
That's Vel's deck list, in case anyone was wondering.
Yes, also forgot to mention, Vel does have Nilou's talent up, so those bountiful calls are gonna be doing 1 additional damage all the time. But it does not seem like they have any up right now. Koshinoko really making sure not to let those Bloom calls get up too early and keep that solid HP lead.
They've just gone a Bloom call. Right now,
oh yes,
summons
it has
are
begun.
looking scary on both sides.
No, it's a battle of affinity for both, I would say.
2 of the characters.
Vel does appear to be using 1 copy of Send Off, so that might come in really handy at the end. And they do have Quick Knit as well. Quick Knit allowing those Bloom calls to reach their upper limit of 3, and with their special property of having an additional attack when they have 2 or more usages, this could be a really good way to hit some of those solid breakpoints and break through Koshinoko's defense.
Yeah, both of them have Dendro on 2 characters right now and have their Hydro summons up, which can get very scary for how many Dendro cores that might make.
Yep, and it seems like Vel has drawn the Chicken talent now, allowing that Radical Vitality to be a little more versatile compared to before. It does require 1 skill usage to get it though.
We have a talented chicken in our party. Honestly, this is like...
Again, Vel not getting that...
application.
Nilou talent coming out on Koshinoko's side. That's a lot more pressure than before. Seems like Vel is going to be sacrificing chicken this time, unfortunately. So no chicken talent gameplay for us this time.
They killed the chicken before he could even get a chance. Unless he lives, of course.
Such is the shame of chicken, of course. But when it does work, it is truly, truly terrifying.
This
Yeah,
is
Koshinoko looking not afraid to
very
put Baizhu out on the field now.
I mean,
Possibly
they have
sacrificing him to
talent.
set up more offense.
Very scared here because there's so much elemental application on both sides.
Oh, interesting point to note. Baizhu is at 4 HP, which means George and the Squirrel will be taking him out and not letting any more additional bloom reactions generate. So there's going to be no Dendro Cause on Vel's side at the end of this turn.
Oh,
As such, there is no bloom reaction this time.
they still have more
And
Dendro to
with-
set up possible cores, but yeah.
Yeah. But Oceanid will have to use a normal attack if Vel wishes to get a bloom call up this turn, as that's the only unless they swap to Nilou, of course. Yeah, but Oceanid is going down. A lot of summon damage on Koshinoko's side. So Vel
favorite
down to
part of
just
TCG.
Nilou now, but is at 9 HP. And with Koshinoko having Dendro on both their characters, they could still go both ways. As that Nilou could really start cleaning up.
Will Nilou be able to clean up though?
There's many
We'll have
things
to
Vel could do
see.
here. Yeah, they also do have double Hydro Resonance on hand, so that is just a ton of healing on demand. And they have plenty of cards, so no issues with Dice of Cringe here. And Lotus as well, with the Quick Knit. So many options for Vel moving forward here, especially seeing that Koshinoko does not have any Oceanid Burst at the moment. So there is no real threat of any instant kills here.
Both Nilus do have their bursts though. Oh god, they just put George back on the field.
Yeah, Koshinoko really stacking up those summons again. Vel might definitely be looking at a game over screen at the end of this turn if they do not play their cards well. But it does look like they know what they're doing. They're considering here with those double Hydro Resonance and Lotus.
Honestly, I can't tell who's gonna win yet, but of course, we don't know what
I'm mentally trying to make a
has.
note of. I'm mentally trying to make a note of how much damage the summons are gonna do at the end of this turn. Actually, I believe even if Vel puts up Lotus with a full HP Nilou, I believe it might still be enough to take out Nilou at the end of this turn, though I might be wrong. I mean, as we've seen before, my counting isn't exactly the best.
Average Genshin player.
But yeah, this has been a really high intensity game between the two Bloom players. Kind of reminding me of the days when MMEC was really rampant, it's just a really fast battle of attrition to see who can get those summon damage out faster than the other.
Honestly, whenever
Koshinoko getting that burst off. Yep, this is likely looking like a game over for Vel.
Yeah, that is truly terrifying amount of summons when you have only one card left.
It's a shame for Vel. I mean, they do have Abyssal Summons in their deck, which is usually for monster decks a huge portion of damage. So, just not drawing those cards early on as desired is just really an unfortunate turn. And just locks you out of a lot of damage potential that you could have had. So yeah, that's a really exciting first game for this week. With Koshinoko taking the win.
Yeah.
Amazingly played by both sides.
I'm so surprised still that we got Nilou Bloom as our first, like, a Nilou Bloom mirror match as our deck, because honestly,
yeah, a treat.
Once again, I know that there is a lot of Nilou Bloom decks, but still, just was not expecting a mirror match as the very first match.
Yeah, I mean, those are always interesting to see, like who can get the better starting out first, like with all their card draws and all that. Just, thinking back about it, yeah, Val had a lot of draw power in their deck, with between the Storm Terror drawing Talon cards on cast, and the of course the Arcane deck is just amazing draw power on its own. Oh, and it looks like we will have a really interesting and highly anticipated match for our next round, which will be Kevin
Oh.
Y.
Kevin Z
It
and
is here.
Prefer.
Kevin Z
Kevin
versus
Y.
Fervor. Why would you use this? It is terrifying. So yeah, both sides are using Dia and double Geo, so this is gonna be a test of endurance, I'd say. But oh, it looks like Furfur has double equips up. I'm kind of curious to see what their deck is.
Looks like they
I
renamed
presume
it
they
to
would be using Wolf's
Zhongli
Gravestone.
combo, but...
Yeah.
Actually,
I
I'm
mean,
not sure
Wolf's
if they
Gravestone,
are.
I feel personally would be the stronger option now that Ito has slightly fallen out of the meta thanks to the nerfs. So Bell on it as a whole kinda has lost some value in opposition to Wolf's Gravestone. It's just amazing amounts of passive damage.
I don't think Kevin has Wolf Gravestone, actually. Unless we're not talking about Kevin.
Yeah, I was actually
I'm
thinking
so
about
focused on
Furfur.
Kevin right now.
Yeah,
Oh.
but Kevin's deck, the amazing Kevin Y, it's they're using Vortex Vanquisher and Tenacity of the Millilith, so we definitely can tell that Zhongli is going to be the main DPS of this deck once he can get set up.
Apparently the deck got
Kevin
renamed to Zhongli Combo, but Kevin Y.
It was
And then
truly one of the memes of all time.
I think that's 7 food cards.
Yeah,
it 7?
7
I
food
can't
cards. It's really terrifying, especially in late game when you can just keep healing non-stop. And yeah, Kevin is sitting on a lot of setup cards right now with double Tenshukaku and Liban. Really just looking to get that game rolling from the very start. Yep, and they're going to be getting that Liban draw at the end of this turn.
I mean, I know this isn't a mirror match, but
burst up though.
I know this isn't a mirror match, but it feels like it is looking at the cards almost. Even though I know
it is true,
it's very different without Zhongli.
Yeah, we both have Dia, Lawachol, and a really strong Geo DPS here. The difference is, who's being used as in that slot. Also interesting how we have sort of seen Lawachol make a return now that Ito has fallen out of the competitive scene quite a bit. Lawachol with its high base damage, although frail, is just really good to open up with and get that HP advantage over your opponents. And it looks like Furfur's deck should be coming out in a moment. Yeah, it is here. Oh, it looks like they are using the belt instead of Wolf's Gravestone. So getting more of those shields. Quite helpful for, getting Geo Resonance to proc. Even though Noelle's personal full plate from her skill does actually have quite a lot more value against something like especially when you're faced off against something like Zhongli, who might end up using normal attacks. Full plate can quite shut that strategy down in the right moments. But of course, free shields on normal attacks is always welcome, as you can just get more damage out of it if you have your burst up.
I just want to make sure I'm looking at this right. Does Noelle have 5 shields right now? 5 different types of shields, right?
I mean, that is a ton of shields, Top 2 likely from Tenacity of the Millilith, then you have Full Plate, Crystallize from Dia Summons, and the Rebellious Shield from the belt. And both players are really stacking up their hands right now, trying to set up in every way they can. Noelle has already used her burst, which is just gonna start eating away at Kevin Z's side, but it looks like they don't really mind losing Dia here. And they're just getting ready to set Zhongli up here with the Geo Resonance and likely a powered up Zhongli skill.
Honestly though, feels like I'm still terrified by that Noelle right now, just because she's so high HP and already has that shield.
Yeah, that is true. She's just so much tanking power here, you know, with the even with damage resistance from the summon, which I didn't know actually worked like this, cause Dia actually still went down earlier this turn, but the damage reduction is still there. So I don't know if it's just a visual thing or if it's actually that way, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Fiery Sanctum's protection, right up there. Looks like Kevin Z setting up their motors, not risking anything at all here. And gonna take a chunk out of Noelle's shield, but still at 9 HP.
Yeah, interesting to see how
Kevin's sitting at a
gonna...
pretty comfortable position now, because Noelle, even with a high damage normal attacks, it can't quite take it out here, especially with considering you're using the bell and not Wolf's Gravestone. Although there is the possibility of something like Heavy Strike, I unfortunately did not get a good enough look at Furfur's deck to see if they were running anything of the sort. Always something to look out for, although in an open format like this where you can see the opponent's deck, it's always a lot more helpful. But you don't have to play a guessing game as to what the opponent may have in their deck.
Yeah, I really want to see what Kevin does, because even right now I don't believe they're fully set up, and Noelle still has 9 HP and 3 shields, which is still very terrifying.
Kevin Z getting quite a bit of pressure to find those equipment cards from their deck now though. As you can see, you know, they don't have them on hand, and they don't really have any breathing room to set up Tenshukaku either, as, you know, that's getting so much pressure from Furfur's side with Noelle's burst up. Just can't risk losing Zhongli, as once you lose Zhongli, you know, the game's basically over. And yeah, Kevin Z does have heavy strike on hand, but unfortunately no equipment cards to really capitalize on that personal damage. Could come in clutch late game though if Zhongli makes it to that point. Still kind of curious as to what Furfur might have on hand.
I could probably check right now. What's the card that... I'm not sure exactly what card you're looking for though.
Yeah, it's alright, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, it's up here now. Yes, Furfur is running 2 copies of Heavy Strike. You know, just adding a huge 2 damage to any of those charge attacks under her burst. It really even out some of those breakpoints. And yeah, Kevin Z getting the Tenacity of the Millionth out now. A bit late, but better early than much later in the game, of course. Hopefully they can start setting up those defenses and make a comeback from this amazingly threatening Noelle right in front of him.
Deck is called Noelle Hypercarry for a reason. And I believe that is Kevin's deck. Once again, on the side of the screen.
Yeah.
We can truly see the beauty of Kevin Y.
Yeah, also the fact that a devastation is included means there's just really many ways this could go. You know, with Zhongli's burst actually dealing a really respectable amount of damage in itself. And as with the petrification effect at the end too, forcing Furfur to switch characters should it come out. And Zhongli is at 2 energy, so we might be seeing that burst come out sooner or later. Yeah, we can see Kevin Z mulling over how they might get that Tenacity of the Millionth up safely. They have a fast swap option in hand, but it might not be much, as, you know, Lava Cho is really low on health and a hit from pretty much anything will take it out at this point. Furfur does have the boosted Lava Cho burst ready, as that passive just not completely depleted yet, meaning that burst will do 6 GO damage once Furfur chooses to use it. So a nice, really nice secondary nuke option in hand. Yeah, so many ways this could go right now.
Honestly,
depends on how Kevin Z wishes to play this.
Very scared on Kevin's side, considering they haven't gotten... I mean, they have very few equipment options, but they haven't gotten any of their weapons yet, I believe. So, kind of limited on how they can set up here.
Yeah, Kevin Z's damage output is just a little stunted right now, as you know, they don't have Vortex Vanquisher on hand yet, which is just a really good +2 damage boost to every single attack that also adds to your shields. So they're definitely gonna have to try and find a way around that. They do have a lot of those support location cards set up already, with the double Sumericity and Tenshukaku already on field. So in that sense, they have a lot of flexibility, but you know, Furfur just imposingly there with Noelle fully kitted out and the burst up. And yet Noelle's burst is already charged back up and ready to use at any time for that refreshment.
I mean, Furfur's side has both bursts, and both of the characters on Kevin Z's side are looking very low HP, so this is looking,
it's a really
scary.
tricky position. Yeah, you know, that's just the thing you have to keep an eye out for with these double Geo decks. Yeah, this is the stall experience indeed, you know. With Geo decks, it's just really a mind game between the two opponents as to who's gonna get those equipment cards out first, who's gonna get that burst onto which character and distribute damage equally. It's definitely a lot of calculation that goes behind every single move, as opposed to how mundane the element may appear. It really requires really high levels of concentration on every side.
Love stall.
And then once again,
Favorite
you're
game to
still gonna
watch.
be yeah, the double Geo mirrors, the pulse pumping action gameplay.
This is some very high
And
action
yeah.
gameplay, I agree.
Yeah, you know, Kevin Z just really falling prey to that cards of cringe issue right now. You know, just at the end of the game, it's a gacha game. And when the game doesn't want to give you the cards you need, there's just a lot of disadvantages it puts you at with double Geo when you don't get the equipment you need.
They do have their fast action swap still and heavy strike, but yeah, without the Vortex Vanquisher, Kevin's looking a bit rough.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. Kevin Z does also have that Woven on hand, so you know, possibly could go for a fast swap into Zhongli's burst. But yeah, it does look like the wiser option is going to be to sacrifice Lava Cho here. You know, healing up with that Hash Brown to force Furfur to use Lava Cho's burst to take out this Lava Cho in one hit. But then again, you know, Furfur may have additional on-hand damage, like Wovens or changing shifts, so this turn might actually be the end for Kevin Z if Furfur high rolls on their cards right now. Which would be quite unfortunate, you know, considering how Kevin Z is already pretty down on luck in terms of their cards. Would be a nail in the coffin if they have to see their opponent draw really good cards this time.
Our favorite gacha game, TCG.
Zhongli living on a sliver of health, just hoping that Vortex Vanquisher comes out. Although at this point, survivability may be the instant concern instead. Yeah, Adapter's Temptation coming out. This could be quite huge. Unfortunately, I haven't lost yet. It's just a dead card at this point, with every other unit already being dead.
Yeah, getting
So
I
no
haven't
chance
lost
to
yet
proc that with
right
it.
after your other card dies. It's
Yeah,
kind of, feels like a
it's
kick
really
in the
just salt in
face.
the wound. Yeah, it's like, must you do this to me, RNG?
Seems like Kevin hasn't gotten Vortex Vanquisher, but he has gotten Adeptus Temptation.
Yeah, so obviously possible to, you know, just kill one of the characters with Zhongli's burst here, but you know, it's just still gonna have to deal with the other side, and it's a really costly attack in the first place.
Yeah, can they break through Noelle is, I think, the real question here.
Yeah, yeah, because you know, even even with adapters up, that burst isn't going to be enough to take out Noelle, assuming that there is even a chance to hit in the first place. At this point, more value coming out of the possibility to just freeze a target for one turn. And possibly force Furfur to, spend extra dice on swapping. But that Ngawachol is at 4+1 here, so that burst is going to take it out should it be used, which will give a free safe switch into Noelle to start cleaning up the game. Yeah, so, well, that's how it is with Geo decks. Unlucky cards on Kevin Z's side, no Vortex Vanquisher, and just good plays all around by both players. Yep. And yeah, Furfur is going to be taking the win here. Amazingly done by both players.
Kevin, why?
Why?
I
Unfortunately,
think
even the
Kevin wants
heavens
to keep this
didn't want
champion.
that deck to high roll this time, it seems.
They really just shut down Kevin with that gacha luck, honestly, on the cards.
Yeah, you're losing 50-50 moments on the card draws.
And just the salt in the wound of getting the I haven't lost yet right as both of his last characters die.
Yeah, it's just
Get it one
that
turn
funny
earlier.
moment. Could have come a little quicker.
Yeah. It is very unfortunate that Kevin just never got that Vortex Vanquisher too.
Yeah, it would have been really exciting to see a full-on showdown between Noelle and Zhongli as Geo DPS.
But yeah.
Also, yeah, I mean,
After
an interesting build on Furfur's side, using Bell rather than Wolf's Gravestone, which would give more damage. But Bell just giving so much sustainability and just creating that unbreakable wall at the very start. That was just too much to handle.
Noah having those 5 shields at 9 HP was honestly so terrifying. Especially once
Yeah, it's
again,
just
like
how do you approach it?
looking at the two sides. Kevin had like no setup up yet, and then Noelle was already pretty much like full of shields. But with that, we are going to be taking a break before our next matches, right?
Yep. Definitely exciting first 2 games here.
we are so back, and we are dropping in
Yeah,
right
we are
into a
back.
match between Asukara and Lyric. Nilou Bloom
Yeah, so
versus
it
our
looks like,
resident Diona lover.
yep, Lyric, well known for their dedication to Diona decks, and this time they're bringing something really interesting with Diona double pyro, so that melt composition is going to be looking for a lot of interesting amounts of damage. And up against Lyric is Asukara with the Ningguang Bloom Oceanate and Baizhu. I believe we saw someone using this deck in the first round, so we'll definitely be seeing some interesting summon reactions this time around as well. And Lyric being well known for their interesting Diona decks, I believe they brought a Superconduct setup with Sarah and Shenhe the last time, and it was a really interesting gameplay to see with how they beat their opponent. And this time they've got another thing cooked up, so I'm sure we'll have a really fun time watching.
It'll be interesting to
And
see
yeah,
how Diona just stand up to the new meta, because I mean, of course, we're very early into the patch right now, but it feels like Nilou Bloom is definitely on the forefront of the new cards in terms of new decks. So very interesting to see how Diona will go against that.
yeah, indeed. Nilou Bloom being such a high damage summon deck, like I said before, somewhat similar to MMEC, which in itself was a really, really intimidating deck during the early days of TCG. But something interesting to note, yeah, Asukara does have Nilou's talent up right now, so already those Bloom Cores are gonna do so much damage. And Lyric does have Bennett's talent on hand, which is a really good card to have, once you get Bennett's Burst up. Just ensures that you get that damage boost every single time. And well, as we know, Diona did get a buff to her talent at one time, so yeah, now her talent basically costs the same as a regular skill, and 4 value out of just one skill, 2 shield and 2 cryo damage. So it adds an interesting side on the sustainability side, rather than as opposed to just raw offense.
Oh, seems like Asukara has set up a Tendril Core.
Yep, getting those Dendro Cores up before the Oceanate summons are even up, which is really, really strong. So, double Dendro application at the end of this turn. I'm gonna heal a little bit of HP back to Baizhu. And yeah, Asukara looking ready to get that Baizhu burst out whenever they want to.
Oh,
here's Lyric's deck. So yeah, they are running Diona's talent, and just one copy, so hopefully they do get to draw it when they need it. But they do have double Storm Terrors here, and yep, they are drawing it right now. So that's gonna draw one of the other 2 cards on their hand. So they quite literally have a 50-50 chance right now to get the talent that they actually need.
Will they win the 50-50?
in the true game of Genshin Impact. And
Yeah,
it looks like they are running
100%.
a Dunyazat Chef Mao core with a lot of food in the bag, with adapters, looters, hash pizza, the usual lineup. And interestingly, they are using Covenant of Rock, and as opposed to the Goba Resonance in every house is stove. And Asukara is using. I remember they did use it early on, which is an interesting choice. As it does get more value the longer you keep it on hand until round 4. But Asukara chose to use it early on, just to get those proper cards they needed at the start. So who knows if it did actually work out, because it's a shame we can't see Asukara's cards right now. But yeah, so Asukara does have no more arcanes on hand right now. We're just waiting for the right moment to use the Covenant of Rock, probably under Bennett's Burst. And yeah, Asukara is setting up Catherine right now, getting fast swap to Nilou. But no reaction this turn, of course, seeing that that burst is going to be hitting Diona. And yeah, Diona will be getting hit with 1 Dendro damage if she chooses to break Baiju's shield right now. which is the unique thing about Baizhu with his shield applied every turn. And if I'm not wrong, also applied regardless of whether you attack or not at the end of the turn. So yeah, one Dendro Core on Asukara's side.
Honestly, it is pretty scary looking at the board here with everyone having Dendro application, and well, other than Diona, but Diona just got a Dendro core made from her.
Yeah, so we're really gonna be seeing a lot of damage going down really soon. Both sides getting really into gear for the big damage coming out. But I would say Lyric is actually in a really good spot right now, you know, Bennett's Burst being ready. And with all those support cards in the back, Storm Terrace Layer is going to be giving a discount on Bennett's Burst. So it will be costing 3 dice instead of 4.
I see. Oh. Time for our favorite part of the TCG,
really
Gacha.
Yeah, but Asukara's side being dangerously low HP right now, you know, and not having quite as many summons as they would like, you know, Oceanid still being at full health, not having a chance to get all those Oceanid summons out yet, and we do have their deck here. But yeah, double Nilou talent as expected, it's a really strong card of course. And yeah, just a lot of strong support cards all around, with the double quick knit that we have seen before. Just really strong with Nilou's Bloom Core special properties.
Looks like Asukara might be trying to set up Oceanid summon timing.
Yeah,
Oceanid
you know
sitting
that
at full HP.
Baizhu Shield, I believe, is going to be losing quite a bit of value. It doesn't look like Asukara got much value out of it this time around, you know, only getting that Bloom on Diona initially. But that one Dendro damage is going to be quite wasted on Bennett here. I'm going to heal right back up, and now that burst is active.
With the Dendro
So
application,
everything on the Lyric side is going to hit real hard.
With the Dendro application and the Oceanid summon though, it seems like Asukara will definitely be getting a lot more Dendro cores from the Oceanid summon.
Yeah, hopefully so, but then again, you know, that's the issue of Lyric switching to Diona here, which would negate any amount of Hydro application, and yeah, there's just no value going to be coming out of those summons here, unfortunately. Getting the first melt off onto Oceanid, and another skill. And yeah, Diona talent is up already. So that's just essentially 11 HP, and yeah,
Oceanid going
Lyric
from
is in a really good spot.
10 to 4 in one round is the true power of the cat girl.
Yeah. Never underestimate the bartender. Yeah, just looking really good for Lyric side right now. Asukara having rather low cards on hand. Hopefully they'll be getting that Hydro Resonance soon, you know, just to get their team back to healthier ranges of HP.
Surely
really close.
Surely Asukara isn't getting hit by the gacha look. Surely. Not in the card game.
But yeah, that Diona skill does do 4 damage under Bennett's Burst, and 6 considering a melt, so it's just really hard hitting on everything on Asukara's side.
Yeah, seems like
I believe this should be the last Jade Shield from Baizhu. I hope I named it correctly. Sorry, no, Jade Shield is Zhongli's. Whatever Baiju's special shield is, the one that applies Dendro on destruction. Yep, last proc from that Baizhu burst there. Now Lyric's entire team is under Dendro. But Asukara just isn't... oh, my bad, I've been reading the name wrong this whole time. It's Asakura.
for the record, the shield is called Seamless Shield, I believe.
Ah, yes, thank you. Yeah, it's called Seamless Shield. And yeah, just nothing is safe to switch in on Asakura's side. But yeah, Diona is just such a huge threat now, and Lyric probably looking to avoid unnecessary damage on Diona, you know, just to keep her healthy. Asakura does have a
Yeah.
lot of summons up on that field, so that's quite a bit of endgame damage. If I'm not wrong,
Yeah, what the
3
summons up?
plus.
Uh,
Yeah, that's like 6,
Definitely don't want
7,
to
7 damage, or I'm not wrong.
Diona there. Considering everyone
Yeah,
has Dendro
and
application right now.
yeah. And yeah, look, Asakura could probably get another summon up, or just, you know, normal attack into Bennett if the dice isn't good. Really close between both sides here, but Lyric is just looking really healthy team-wise. I believe that Bennett Burst will be ending this turn though, so next turn Asakura can probably let out a bit of... can probably take a breath of fresh air and relax a little once they are no longer under that immense damage pressure. But the turn is not over yet on Lyric's side, so yeah, still gonna be seeing 1 or 2 more attacks coming out. And yeah, I believe Lyric does have the option to attack twice here, you know, with having Covenant plus the Woven dice on hand. You can just go down to 0 dice and Covenant up and get another free attack out under the effects of Venom's Burst. And really just eat through Asakura's team here. No issues on dice fixing here either, you know, because Lyric has just so many cards on hand. And yep, the Covenant is coming out. That's a huge hit going to Baizhu here. And tuning too for that increased 1 damage. That's 5 damage onto Baizhu. Absolutely going to be taking him out once the Diona Burst hits.
We're looking quite rough here. And then we will be moving on to our
and now
favorite part
Nilou
of
is the
TCG.
last one standing.
Oh.
Yeah,
Honestly,
like
this is a
Lyric
terrifying
is gonna be the
screen.
one coming out as the winner here.
The 3, like, relatively healthy considering the situation cards, and then Nilou at 4 HP is a bit terrifying.
Yeah, really just a show of Lyric being a lot of skill on Lyric's side, you know, swapping around really well to manage that elemental applications that not letting as little bloom cause possible appear on Asakura's side. And yep, Asakura knows there's no coming back from this. And then Lyric's got an achievement there, I think. Probably hit a bit of a personal milestone in wins. So congratulations to Lyric, and amazingly done by both sides, as always.
Really showing the power of the cat girl.
Currently, Lyric's definitely a worthy ambassador for Diona. Showing everyone what she can do.
It is quite interesting to see that even against like the newer card, Diona's still holding her own.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really a joy to see like off meta decks that you wouldn't really expect just doing so well in a competitive scene. It's just really, yeah, it's a breath of fresh air for sure. You love
considering
to see it.
she was a launch TCG launch card.
Yeah, she was around from launch.
So it is very surprising, honestly, that she's able to go this far and still work very well. Or maybe it's just Lyric's excellent Diona coaching.
Yeah, I mean, of course, credit to the player themselves. Lyric is just a really good player. I've been thrashed by them several times in separate occasions. They're really good at the game in their own way.
I am very glad though that Diona is getting love from Lyric, because
we need
Diona
more love
is
for
just...
the off-the characters.
I mean, she's the ambassador of
for
TCG.
Dori. True.
We haven't seen a Dori deck yet, actually, huh?
Yeah, we haven't. Which is it's a shame, but you know, I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
They definitely exist, so I am really excited to see. Actually, do they exist? Oh no. They might not exist. But yeah, maybe my wish will be granted. But we have definitely seen a lot of the other
One
two
day.
characters, Nilou and Baizhu already. Already saw two Nilou Baizhu. God, I forgot what Bloom was called. I already saw two Nilou Baizhu Bloom decks, which is quite interesting. I was informed
Yeah,
there
you
is
know, just
no Dori.
that's a huge shame, you know. But yeah,
Honestly, I
Nemo
was.
Bloom as a whole, really, really fun deck, you know, just to get all those cores up.
Yeah, I was very interested though to see possibly someone utilizing Dori's burst because it is. I mean, I we haven't seen Dori yet, of course, but I really wanted to see how someone would utilize her burst because with the whole talent giving 2 energy. Oh, and looks like we have our next match between what are we seeing?
Oh, it's the unique Nilou Vape deck up against Scary Nemo, or Nemo, whichever would be considered the stronger term. But yeah, interesting side. So Takati Go versus Flareon. Takati is using weapon package, it seems. Yeah, Moon Piercer on Shenhe. An interesting pick for sure, you know, because it's a weapon that can go on either Shenhe or Xiao, and just, you know, add a lot of extra dice value to the character as well as damage. They do not have Sucrose on the team though, so they'll have to manage that cryo application quite well and rely on that first turn priority to get reliable souls off. Although, you know, once you have Scaramouche's skill up, I don't think it'll matter too much. But yeah, that's one thing to know. Sucrose has always been quite a strong option for Shenimo decks, but Shenhe is going down on the very first turn.
It is interesting though to see a match between Shenimo, which, as far as I'm aware, is an older deck versus a deck with Nilou, one of the new characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a really high action start here, you know, just with Shenhe already being down. Some would say that the battle is already over once, you know, Shenhe just goes down like that. And something to note is that Shenhe did receive a nerf to her Icy Quill stacks, so now there are only 2 instead of 3 upon cast. So only three Icy Quills, and yeah, you know, just you can't really get swirl off right now, especially seeing that there is only application on Candice. You know, Scaramouche only hitting the active and Nyx character, so as long as Flareon keeps Klee and Nilou healthy, they won't have to worry about any swirls coming out right now.
Very unfortunate that Shenhe went down before Klee or Nilou got their cryo application. And that is Flareon's deck on the side here, if anyone is wondering about it.
Really interesting deck, you know, especially considered that they're using Jade Chamber and Chinju Forest, which are somewhat lesser seen cards, I would say. Yeah, it's really rare, a really rare deck. Like, I believe they are the only one using Nilou in a deck that is not blue in this week. So yeah, besides that, you know, you have the usual cards you would expect to see in a regular Cleavate deck, you know, Covenant of Rock, that can give Klee that charged attack. And yeah, you know, dice fixers, food, a lot of food.
Wanderer has gone down
they
as
have
well.
double. Oh yeah, yeah. It looks like this is definitely the win for Flareon here. Just nothing Takiti can do in terms of damage, you know, with no reactions, able to come off and Shenhe did. That's just something you really have to look out for when up against Klee Vaporized decks. They can and absolutely will decimate you on the first turn if you do not swap out.
And that is Taki's School's deck. Oh, it went down. Bye-bye deck. Never mind.
We barely got to
It
see
is back.
anything.
We are so back.
Yes.
Lee has gone down,
Yep,
but yeah,
and
this
it is
is
the win for
the
Flareon
win
here.
for Flareon.
That was a really fast and decisive game.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate that Shenhe died literally in the first turn.
Yeah.
Because
You know,
basically
just
no
the thing,
cryo
you
set up
really
there.
have no choice. Yeah. Because, you know, with these days with Covenant of Rock existing in the game, there's no more guessing games. You know the opponent is going to be hitting you with that at least 10 damage round 1. So you just have to swap out. Staying in is not an option, even without double pyro.
Very interesting though to see a Nilou Vape deck, considering I might be mistaken, but yeah, I think the rest of the Nilou decks here are all Bloom, and of course, going against Takekikuo, which is one of the TCG content creators who make 60-second guides on the decks for, I believe, Nilou Bloom. But yeah, very interesting to see a Nilou Vape deck, considering what everyone else is using Nilou for.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really fun game to see, you know, with Nilou being used in such a hyper-offensive deck like Vape. Of course, with Nilou Bloom being a really offensive deck itself, but it's a style that's definitely interesting to see her being used in. Because, you know, her burst is something sort of, I would say, similar to Agent Burst. You get high damage for 2 energy and 3 dice. Although hers has that unique property of sticking additional 3 damage at the end phase to the character that's been hit. So, you know, something that can be used to target those off-field characters possibly.
It is very interesting though. We haven't seen any Nahida yet, which I have seen a lot of Nahida Nilou decks, so it is interesting to see that. We haven't seen any Nilou Bloom decks with Nahida. It's mostly been Baizhu.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose they are preferring Baizhu's really reliable Dendrofication, because, you know, he, between his summon and his shield, there's just, from his burst, there's just a lot of ways you can apply Dendro even when he's not on the field. It's just really reliable way to proc those Bloom cores and get them set up.
Yeah, especially with Ocean, it is very interesting because at the end of the game, if you have both summons up, it's like a guaranteed Dendro core.
Yep, it just becomes self-sustaining at that point, and it'll be interesting if we see anyone use Lament on on all the Ningguang summons, which would definitely be really funny to watch. But yeah, you know, it's just something that increases the value of those summon discarding cards like Send Off and Guardian's Oath by a lot.
And I do really want to see a lot more of Baizhu, because so far we've seen Baizhu with Nilou.
Yeah, I mean, Baizhu, I've seen some speculation about how he could be really good for something like Quicken. I believe it was also Taketiku who made a video on that. It was a really good video that they made. It was fun to watch, as that showed Baizhu in being used in a Quicken deck. So yeah, you know, we've got some time before our next game, so I'm just gonna take a look at the deck list here. So yeah, one really interesting deck here. Let's see. I would say there is a Mona Sara deck by someone called Lamon Tech Me 23. That name is a bit of a mouthful, but yeah, it's all the way at the bottom of the deck list. But I mean, the thing that caught my eye was Sino. You know, just Sino as a card being also from launch like Diona, but I have been traumatized by this man. There's so many times in tournaments where
we were talking about Sino earlier, so it's interesting to see we haven't seen Sino yet, actually, because we were talking about Sino before the stream started. Uh,
Yeah, Sino as a whole, just having access to that innate electro infusion is that unique mechanic of his kit where his burst is sometimes a bit of a detriment considering how you tend to get it randomly in the game, and if you use it when he has too many stacks of packs on Path Clearer, it just it just resets them and he loses his free damage boost. And then but then again his damage boost takes quite some time to come into action without using his burst. So it's a really interesting position. But as I've seen, Sino being used in those decks, it's just really on his own, just as an electro carry, just really unique in the sense that he gets his own infusion. I've seen him
just
be
like
used
in
with
main
stuff
game
like
also.
weapon package. Yeah, used with stuff like weapon package or with Xingqiu for electro charge. While on paper it doesn't sound intimidating at all, then you just go against it in practice, and one moment I'm looking at my deck full HP, and then the next second they're all just gone, low health, and I have nothing to do, and I'm just sitting there confused, like, how did I lose? What just
Feels like
happened? I can't
there's
believe
some
it.
PTSD flashbacks here about your experience with Sino.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting PTSD whenever I see someone use Sino. But yeah, it's yeah, always gonna see one Sino user and feel really terrified.
Interesting to see also the fact that there is only one bin deck being brought. All bin and din. There's only one of them, which is quite interesting considering how rampant din was right before this.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta commend them, sticking to Bin even after the huge Ito nerf. Just because they nerfed him on two fronts, just his burst damage being reduced to 4, which I would say is reasonable. But then they completely killed the damage boost he gets from his burst. So at this point, it's not even the same as Noel, where like he only gets a raw increase of 1 damage where it used to be 2, so that's quite literally just half as much boost as he used to get, which is a really, really huge nerf. The MiHoYo just said they do not want to see Bin anymore in the meta.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, that didn't stop one person from sticking to Bin through thick and thin.
Very interesting to see how that'll play out against some of the newer decks
I'm
featuring
sure
Nilou
Open is
here.
still possible.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, there's a lot of Nilous now.
there is truly just a disgusting amount of Nilous in this sheet. Once again, there are 9 Nilou decks, and I
They're
believe
everywhere.
all of them except for one are Nilou Bloom. Actually, thinking about that, it is. We will probably be seeing at least one more mirror match between Nilou Blooms. And
And yeah,
Oh.
here is the Sino deck, the Sino EC deck. Yeah, and really interesting setup with most prominently we have Sarah here, and double Electro as a whole, we don't see that very often in competitive play, as the elemental resonance high voltage. There are just other options that more or less do the same thing, I would say, like Nilou, also costing the same amount of dice but being able to be used on every single deck. Of course, high voltage does have that extra benefit of being able to use whenever you like on demand. But compared to when you have stuff like Geo Resonance giving an amazing amount of shields, or Pyro Resonance increasing by 3 damage, or the Onyx reaction, it's lesser seen compared to other decks. And Sarah as a whole is also just something you don't see that often. And this person is even using Sin of Pride, which is her talent card, and it's just you don't. It's really tricky to get off, but once you do get it off, that's like a +2 damage boost, which is the same as a Bennett burst. So for electro characters only, when they consume Sarah's boost stack, it just gives them +2 rather than +1. Really, really interesting deck, considering the only Hydro application is coming from Monarch.
Yeah,
So
very
yeah,
excited to see if I do think we will be seeing them play, so we'll be interested to see how that plays out.
yeah.
And I believe we will be taking our next break here.
Yes.
Break time, break time. I get to go get another
Yeah.
bathroom break.
Gonna take more water to heal up my throat.
We are so back. Hello, hello. We're back
Hello.
again. We are experiencing some technical issues right now, so we will just be going over some of the decks that are in play and just chilling for a bit until those technical issues are fixed. And one of the decks we have right now that seems quite interesting is a deck consisting of Electro Hypostasis, Child, and Mona from, I believe, F2S? 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 I can't read. Yeah, F2S.
So
honestly,
it's a really, really unique deck.
not the biggest fan of Child personally. This is just a main game issue rather than in TCG, but not the biggest fan of Child.
The residential Fatui Harbinger.
I do fight
Yeah, I mean,
any Child like this.
Electro Hypostasis and Child, two cards you don't really expect to see with each other because they both have, they are so-called partners for that you're usually seeing them with because, both being one a monster and one a Fatui card. So usually when you run either of these, you would really want to go for the really strong Fatui Resonance or Monster Resonance, or as they're actually called in game, Abyssal Summons and Fatui Conspiracy, as they're just really, really high value cards for what they are. But to use them together is really, really, really a novel choice. And in Electro Hypostasis, you often see them in decks with Bennett, because his burst is just really good with Electrocube since it buffs all 3 hits for a total of 6 extra damage. It's really, really strong once you get it up and just really hard to stop once that ball starts rolling. And Child on his own, he did get a buff, so his Riptide is really easy to apply. So yeah, seeing them together in the deck.
Seems we are going into a round here. Oh, this is the deck that you were talking about earlier. This is the one with Sara. I forgot the name of the deck.
Oh yeah.
This is a match between Shin and Lemon.
And the really
Zillow was
interesting Sino Electro Charge. Yeah, I was indeed. And possibly a little terrified as well. But yeah, since we are still not quite... Oh yeah, we are in... Yeah. So yeah, it looks like Lamon is opening up with Mona's skill, get that Hydro application off right at the start. I presume they're going to be swapping off the Sara next to get Electro Charge off and another Electro Charge once those summons go off, though we will have to see. And well, yeah, as we did see Lamon's deck list earlier, they are running a really, really novel blend of Sino Electro Charge with Mona as the Hydro driver. So they will be using the Global Resonance, as we've seen before, really strong and versatile, and used in many decks. Meanwhile, on the opposing side, we have Shin, who is using an Electro Hypostasis deck with Bennett. And like we were saying earlier, just one of the more popular choices for the Electro Cube in general, since it benefits so much from Bennett's burst. And Yoimiya as a third member is also a really popular choice with Bennett decks as of late, although she didn't quite shoot off right at the start when these decks came into fashion. She is actually really strong for the fact that her skill can be used to stall through turns. And it seems like the stream might be having a bit of lag, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess we could talk about their decks for now while we wait for it to fix up. I'm not sure if it's also going on you guys' side, but yeah, it's
I think it might just be your side. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We just saw the dice rolls for both players and also the cards. Honestly, this is a bit off topic, but Shin's card backing truly terrifies me.
Yes.
This is Shin's side,
yeah. If I'm not wrong, that is the card back you get from placing among the top players in the regional tournaments that I unfortunately did not know how to participate in, but yeah, really fun. and really strong. Yes, Prince Cup. Thank you. Yeah, so
Interesting that we get both perspectives this time.
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can fix up the stream on my end since it's still frozen for me. Okay, it's back.
We are so back.
We are back. But yeah, as I was saying, Yoimiya, her skill is only one cost, so it's really good to stall with. Because once you want that cube to go off, you don't want anything to possibly hinder it from getting those big hits out. So Yoimiya's skill with Bennett's Burst is actually a really good method to stall out the turn order and make sure you get all those hits onto the same target. And since it counts as a skill use, you will be healing when you are under Bennett's Burst and under that HP threshold. So yeah, Yoimiya as a whole just actually surprisingly tanky under Bennett's Burst against most decks that don't have the firepower to break through 7 HP or more in a single hit. Yeah, and both sides with Storm Terror Slayer. I hope the feed is playing back at the right speed for me. But yeah, both sides. My Wi-Fi might be a little iffy.
Should be
yeah.
correct. Should be correct.
Yeah, so both sides with Storm Terror Slayer, we've been seeing that a lot this week, showing just how strong of a card it is. Storm Terror Slayer benefiting both Bennett's Burst cost, reducing it to 3, as well as the Electro Cube's skill, reducing it to 4.
Oh, and we have
again, you just draw it. Yeah.
We do have Shin's deck up on the side for anyone who's interested, and we have been switching back and forth periodically to both players, and we are now on Shin's perspective.
So yeah, it looks like Shin did draw Bennett's talent from casting that Storm Terror Slayer earlier on. Just another reason why Storm Terror Slayer synergizes really well with Bennett decks as a whole, because in most Bennett decks, the only talent you're running is going to be Bennett's talent. So essentially you have double the draw chances for getting that talent when you need it, which is just really, really good for these decks where it can make the difference between a win and a loss.
Once again, we have our split screens for the dice rolls.
Yeah,
And
definitely
we are back
really
on
interesting to be seeing both
Lana's
sides.
perspective.
Yeah,
Interesting.
well, it
Seems
looks like Lemon.
drew 3 equipments. Weapons, not equipment.
Yeah, Lemon has a lot of those weapons on hand, one for every single character. So everyone can equip when they want to. Also, having Dunyazad and Master Zhang on the same deck is definitely a really potent combo as a whole, because you get those extra companion cards out when you need it, and yep, there's a second Master Zhang coming out. So that is really huge for Lamon, because that essentially reduces your weapon equip cost to nothing. So those are basically free equips past the first one.
Can we just review over what exactly does Master Zhang do? Since it seems like it's very strong here. But...
So yeah, Master Zhang is, as you can probably guess, related to weapons. What he does is he decreases the cost of equipping a weapon by 1, but there is an additional factor to it. For every every character you have with a weapon equipped, it will reduce it by an additional 1 dice. So which is why once you equip 1 weapon, and if you have 2 Master Zhangs on hand, the other 2 basically cost 0 to equip. But it only triggers once per turn, so you can't just equip everyone at the same time, unfortunately. But it's still really, really strong.
By the way, we do have Lamon's deck on the side, if anyone was wondering about that. And it seems like Yoimiya has gone down.
Yep, Yoimiya is down, so definitely not the end of the world for Shin, because the main DPS is the Electro Cube, but it's still definitely down by a lot of HP compared to Lamon here. And I would say just taking both decks at face value, I would say Lamon is actually at an advantage because just getting so much damage up front from weapons and something like electro charged on Sino is just really tough to match up against using Electrocube, because your team is going to be really low before you can even get that Bennett's Burst up, making things really pinchy. And yeah, you know, weapon cards with their passives just giving so much free damage to every single unit on Lamon's side. And couple that with the fact that Sarah has her talent equipped.
Yeah, they don't have all the weapons up just yet, obviously, but a bit terrifying that they have a weapon for everyone already, all in one fell swoop.
Yeah. And it's something I may have forgotten to mention. Sarah's talent card, I believe it did get a buff. It previously was locked to using her burst, but if I'm not wrong, it was actually changed, though I'm unfortunately not too familiar with what was actually changed, as I haven't used her since. But if I'm not wrong, of course, correct me if anyone knows, but I believe it is an equip talent card, like something like Ayaka's or Abyss Lactors. But yeah, if I'm not wrong, it should be an equipped talent now rather than something tied to burst. So yeah, making it much stronger than it was before. And now we can see that discount is available on Sarah's burst, making it 3 cost rather than 4 thanks to Storm Terra's layer.
I am checking right now. It does
considering
look
their
like
options.
you're correct, I believe. Yeah, it does look like it
okay.
is an equipment. Yeah. Though then again, my reading is not that trustworthy, so I might be wrong too. But honestly, the fact that overall, Lamon's characters are still very healthy, other than Mona, of course, but the character is still at full HP is, I feel a bit scary.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Shin is under the effect of Bennett's Burst, so that cube is going to be hitting pretty hard. But they only have 3 dice remaining, so looking a little tough for them, especially in this situation. But I'm pretty sure they are already in the middle of their combo. Yeah, they are. So yeah, you know, just big damage coming out, but you know, Lamon's team is really healthy right now. Sino still sitting comfortably at the back, you know, with full HP. They're ready to sweep once that thing comes out. And yeah, you know, Lamon hovering over that Sino talent, that's just gonna add more damage to his skill. And I am quite sure that Sino's talent did also get buffed, if I'm not wrong. It used to only buff his damage additionally, but when he's at a certain level of indwelling. But now, if I'm not wrong, it should be whenever he's at an even number of indwelling stacks. So that's a much more consistent damage increase.
I see.
So yeah, you know, Lamon really building a deck around those balance changes really efficiently. So I really respect the dedication to cooking. I really respect the dedication to cooking up such a unique new deck right after these balance changes get pushed out. You know, just taking full advantage of them to catch your opponent by surprise. It's really a dark horse if I've ever seen one. A really strong one at that.
Also very unique characters, considering their characters versus the other decks we have. I mean, of course, probably half of them are Nilou Bloom, but still. Most likely, I believe Sino will be getting their weapon here, so that would be pretty terrifying for Shin. Well, not here,
yeah,
but next round.
Unfortunately, it does look like Lamon is actually in a pretty bad spot now, cause they have 0 dice, and if I'm not wrong, this might actually be the end for them. Sadly, because that cube is just dishing out so much damage. Although, wait, I might be wrong. Sorry, I take that back actually. Unless Shin draws a woven, yep. Going to be going back to Bennett. That cube is out of action for this turn. thankfully.
And
Another wolf.
then
If
let's
Shin
just
had
back
another
on the
wolf
side
in
of
there,
the
it would be the end. Yeah, so
Honestly,
quite a
this
close call.
was looking very in Lamon's favor, but after that, it feels a bit more even. But even so, it still looks like it's more in Lamon's favor, just to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, I mean, what you said, you know, just now, just a moment ago, Lamon's entire team was almost at max health, and then now in the blink of an eye, they're all just
3
down to
HP
really
across
low
the board.
and yeah, 3 HP across the board, you know, just that cube skill, just putting in so much work and absolutely shredding through Lamon's team. Yeah, you just really
Yeah.
can't ignore it once it gets the skill up under Bennett's burst.
So terrifying, honestly, because before that turn, both Sino and Sorrow were at 10 HP.
Yeah, you know, they just got completely drilled through by that cube skill, hitting them one after the other, and until they're just sitting here now at really low HP. Lamon does have options like I haven't lost yet on hand, but considering how the cube on Shin's side still has its revive available, it's going to be really, really tricky. I don't even know if it's possible to break through at this point.
The cube has a revive ability?
Yeah, so this is my area of expertise. So cube, it starts off with lesser health than other cards. It starts out at 8, so it's somewhat like the Lava Chop in that sense. It starts out at 8, but when it is defeated, it will revive at 1 HP once per round. So it can survive 1 additional attack in that sense, yeah. So, you know, typical counters to this would be stuff like Nahida's Seeds of Skanda or other reaction damage and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a really interesting ability that can be quite annoying to deal with, especially in the late game. It can even be reapplied with the talent card for the cube, but I don't think Shin is using it. And because I don't think they even really need it in this case, you know, because you're already getting so much sustainability from Bender's Burst, and it's just such a huge threat. Oh no, I think I'm lagging a bit.
This is a technical issue for everyone, including the casters.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're back. And Bennett is down.
Even with Bennett down, it feels very even to me, at least, considering the Electro Cube is definitely not gonna be dying here. Well, I mean,
yeah, and
because of the revive.
Looks like Mona has used her burst here, so which means the next hit into the cube will deal double damage. Now, normally that would be a game over for the opponent in any situation, but this is the cube, so it's going to revive at 1 HP and survive an additional attack. And you know, Shin has 8 dice here, just looking really safe to start like hitting Lamon's team. And yeah, gonna play it safe and go for that 1 normal attack to pick up Mona. And this is looking pretty rough for Lamon here, because you know, unable to take out the cube in 1 hit and you only have 5 dice.
Yeah, this is looking like a...
Oh, but this might still be the win for Lamon here, because they have I haven't lost yet on hand. So yeah, that might be 1 additional hit if I'm not wrong. So yeah, really close game here. Yep, starting the rock, paper, scissors combo, but only doing 2 damage. Don't forget, yep, I haven't lost yet. And yep, that Sino skill is going to be winning the game for Lamon here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's the end of this game.
That was honestly terrifying.
That was really exciting.
It was so close near the end.
Yeah,
I genuinely thought the hypostasis would be winning there.
Same, like I didn't think that like it would come back so fast, just Lamon, but really Lamon just making the right calls at the end. It's a shame I didn't really get to see that that we didn't really get to see that moment where they swapped in to use Mona's burst, but yeah, it was a really well-informed play towards the end that secured them that win, so that they could use the I haven't lost yet onto Sino.
Yeah, it's very interesting, that play, because I mean, honestly, like, once again, I really thought that Laman was done for there, so it was interesting to see how they managed with the I haven't lost yet, just to do a complete comeback and kill the
you and me both.
stasis, despite the stasis reviving.
Yeah, I mean, just really amazingly well played by both sides there, I gotta admit. Shin just controlling where they take damage so that the cube can safely come in under the Bennett burst. Of course, they unfortunately didn't really have enough damage to beat through Lamon at the end. Just taking so much damage from Lamon's weapons over the course of the time. So while we're waiting for the next match,
now that we are waiting for the next match, we have a bit of time, so we can look over the bracket as it is right now, since we have been through 3 rounds. So let's see who might be a 5-0 here. Well, may play out to be a 5-0.
So it looks like Lamon hasn't reported their score yet, but we know it is a win here. So looking at the scores here, we've got for 3-0s. We've got a few actually. 4 here at the top. Yeah, quite a lot of 2-1s. And
I
apparently someone
believe
tied
Pudge
on one
is
game.
supposed to be a 3 wins as well. Even though it is displayed as a tie, I believe that is a win.
I believe it is actually not really counted as a win, although it can actually get you onto the leaderboard. Yeah.
I was reading something else.
Yeah, in terms of major qualification, if I'm not wrong, a tie is still technically counted as a loss, though you will get credited for the tie in leaderboards if you do happen to be at that score. Yeah. So yeah, looking at our 3-0s here, we've got quite a few. Looking at, if I were to take a look at their deck list now.
We do have a Nilou Bloom in the top 4 right now with Vesta. Not sure if the others are running Nilou Bloom just yet, but yes, Vesta is running Nilou Bloom with Baizhu and Nilou. I believe we did see them play earlier.
Yeah, just really showing that this deck is really prominent right now in this new meta. Yeah, and interestingly, a unique deck here would be Ushka Moshka using a Razor, Candice, and Raiden deck. So it's actually been around for a while. I've seen it a few times in Arena of Champions. It's a really interesting deck where you just get Raiden's burst up and then set up Candice burst and Razor's burst. You hit the opponent really hard in the next round for a lot of electro charge damage. So it's sort of like a really potent burst that's relying quite heavily on the Raiden getting a burst off, but when it's done well, it can really just eat through opposing teams. Really interesting if we manage to see them play later.
Yeah, we haven't quite. I don't think we've seen anyone that has gone 3-0 play except for Vesta so far. We have another round coming up. No? I do want to see Max play though, for sure, because they do have a Nahida team, and so far we haven't seen Nahida at all. So it would be interesting to see Nahida.
Yeah, I mean, Nahida with Nilou Bloom there's really good synergy between Nahida's skill and Nilou's burst. Both are capable of targeting the off-field characters.
I think Max's team is actually not a Nilou Bloom team. It's a Nahida, Nahida Oceanid and Fish, so no Nilou there.
Oh, my bad. Oh yeah, so Nahida Electro charged. Yeah, quite a well-balanced deck all around that we've seen quite a lot after the ban on MMEC. Just good spread damage all around, you know, like targeting every single character between Electro Charge and Nahida's skill. And you also have, you know, a good amount of nukes available with like Nahida Burst and Oceanate Burst and the like.
I'm also waiting to see if we will be able to see a game with the person playing Bin and also one of the Pyro Kuching maybe, just because those are probably the two decks
I
that
mean, yeah.
interest me the most right now.
Yeah, Pyro
Outside
Kuching
the
has
deck list.
also... Yeah, you know, Pyro Kuching also getting a really significant buff with the recent changes. So Storm Terror Slayer, as we've seen so many times, it actually counts Kuching's Lightning Stiletto as a talent card. So that means you can swap in with Kuching for only 2 dice. So that's like it gets the same amount of benefits as Cute Bennett would get, or possibly even more. I might dare to say. Yeah, we should be getting our next match coming in a second.
Oh, and let's see who it is. Oh, we have this matchup. Feels like I've seen it somewhere before. I feel like we've seen this
So
matchup before.
we've got Shenimo. I wonder if it's the same player from before. I believe it might. Yes,
It
it
is the
is.
same person. Yes.
Taketigo is back with
This is
Shenimo.
This is the exact same matchup we saw Taketigo in earlier against the Nilou
So
Bloom with
something that might be giving
Baizhu.
us a bit of deja vu here is that
Oh wait, no, we were
similar
going
to
against
how
a different team earlier actually.
So this is a Ningguang Bloom deck with Baizhu and Ocean, the same as we've seen a few times before. So something interesting that might be giving Taketigo a little bit of deja vu here is that similarly to Vape, Noel Nilou Bloom can actually kill your active character on the first turn if you do not swap out because of Baiju's double Dendro application and Ningguang's talent increasing the blue core damage by 1. So Taketigo definitely being more wary of that, as you can see. They swapped out
they've
from
swapped
Shenhe
off
after
with
getting
Shinho
that
this
skill
time.
off. Yeah, not looking to repeat their mistakes again, which we all love to see, of course.
I mixed up the Nilou Vape and the Nilou Bloom in my head.
Oh yeah, that is true. Definitely, they must be getting flashbacks now, seeing that Nilou in front of them. But yeah, looks like they've put Lotus on Scaramouche, not wanting to take more damage than they'd like to, and his burst is already up, so there's gonna be a ton of damage to whoever's unfortunate enough to take it. Yeah, and Baizhu is going down. An interesting choice of nuke, I would say.
That is a bit unfortunate for Koshinoko actually, isn't it? Since
Yeah,
I mean they have Dendro cores
Koshinoko...
up, but only Shinho draw application.
Yeah, so that's the thing, you know, but Koshinoko will be getting those summons off, and that Dendro core is going to be self-sustaining from here on out. So it does make you wonder a little bit, was that nuke really worth it? We'll have to see as the game goes on. Of course, Nilou in the back, you can see she is now poised to take normal attack damage from Scaramouche, should he be going first. But yeah, you know, that Bloom Core is going to be coming right back up here. Taketigo looking a little low on cards, so they drew a really good hand right there. Bestus Travel Companion and Strategize, 2 cards they really need when you just have nothing on hand. And really good dice on Taketigo's side. So Strategize is coming out. Okay, pretty nice cards, I would say. Yep, that fast swap coming out immediately, going back to Shenhe to refresh that skill and hopefully get their burst up. Still really healthy at 9 HP, so definitely gonna work its way. Koshinoko getting that Goba talent off, Goba Arcane off, to just add more to their already massive hand. Oh yeah, so Koshinoko using Send Off on that Shenhe burst, definitely really helpful in negating the ton of damage that Shenhe takes. I'm not sure if I'm lagging again.
Uh,
Oh dear. Is the stream working on your end?
if that's what you're seeing.
The screen's frozen for me.
But yeah, Shinha has just died to Oceanid's summons. Oh,
Oh yeah, it's back. Thank you. So yeah, things looking quite in favor of Takiti Go right now. Although Oceanid is having that burst there, and yeah, Xiao is going to go down, I believe. Oh yeah, so it's back. My bad. Koshinoko looks like it's them who's going to be winning here. Takiti having that Lotus Flower Crisp out to possibly take less damage. Not quite sure if they can actually stick it out to the end though. They have a 0-cost food card on hand, but they can't really equip. They can't use it now because they've already used their Lotus. Yeah, so strong start out for Takiti Go, but it looks like Koshinoko's Nilou Bloom is going to be taking the win here. Yep. That end phase instant Dendro damage from the Bloom Core, just immediately taking it out.
honestly, it was looking for Takadigo when they killed off the Baizhu early on, but that end where everyone just gets killed off and then Scar is at 1 HP. Or Wanderer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, just Shinimo as a whole always having those really good stats, but in terms of the long game, if you don't have like the right cards on hand, it can quickly swing in your opponent's favor. And it's just yeah, a really fast-paced deck as a whole. You know, and Takiti getting just out damaged by those bountiful bloom cores at the end, just eating through his remaining characters on the field.
Yeah, I do find it very interesting though, the Shinimo deck, even if it is an older one, going against the Nilo Bloom. It's just interesting seeing an older deck going against the new Nilo card. I do really want to see some decks revolving around Baizhu, maybe. I don't think there are any, but I'm hoping to see a deck with Baizhu because there is no Dori deck, as far as I know. But there may be some Baizhu decks that don't include Nilou. I haven't checked over every single card, so I'm not sure. But
yeah, I think our next round is starting soon. But yeah, for now, we've seen a lot of really fun decks so far. Yeah, we've got a match incoming. Just in time.
we have Lamin again against 3.14 or Pi.
The digits of pi. So yeah, really interesting. The Pi is using, I guess we can call them that. Pi is using Ayamiya here, which is a really old deck. Since launch, that was actually one of the strongest at the start before they nerfed Yoimiya's burst. Recently, the members have been getting small buffs here and there that have, I would say, increased the team's strength by a significant portion. Of course, I wouldn't say as strong as it was at launch, but it is definitely still very, very potent now. So yeah, opening up, we've seen that Ramon has Master Jump and Dunyazad already set up. So again, a really strong start out for Ramon here. Considering the options they have. Yeah, this is really lucky hands for Ramon. And Sarah talent there too. They're really free to set up in the most ideal way possible here. And yeah, that talent card for Sarah is an equip. Oh, it is tied to skill now. My bad. Yeah, so it is tied to a skill now, which means the Crow Feather cover will be giving a +2 damage to Sino and Sarah, but a +1 to Mona.
And there is Pai's tech on the side in case anyone was wondering about it.
Yep, so we've got the Ayamiya lineout as we've seen with Parametric Transformer, which is Parametric is a card that we don't quite see as often now, typically used with normal attack focused builds such as this. So with Ayamiya, if you do get a lot of value out of Parametric Transformer, as your Ayaka or Chongyun's attacks will be hitting for a ton of damage with Yorimiya's burst up. And speaking of which, Pai's Yorimiya burst is up already. And they still have 4 dice left, so we'll see if they end turn or choose to get an attack in.
What is the benefit of Parametric Transformer exactly?
Yes, so Parametric Transformer is cost 2 dice to play. Once you play, it sits on your field, and every time someone deals elemental damage with a skill, it gains 1 stack, and at 3 stacks, it explodes, and the person who used it gets 3 random elemental dice on their side. So it's really useful for normal attack decks, as it saves up their dice to do a lot of normal attacks in 1 turn. So the Legend of Vanessa, which is another card in Pai's deck, is really similar. It costs 3 dice of the same element to use, and it will refund you back 4 dice immediately. But the dice will be random, so again, really just for those decks that use a lot of normal attacks. And they're really just going all in on these normal attacks on their deck, they also have Northern Smoked Chicken and Minty Meat Rolls, which both discount your normal attacks by a significant amount, as well as Gambler's Earrings, which will just give you a lot more dice, so really going for that 1 turn kill there. There's my stream lagging again.
I don't. What do you see right now?
My screen just froze again.
Oh
no.
Well, Laman
My
has
Wi-Fi.
just switched to Sino.
Okay. Perhaps I'll try and pull it up on.
Perhaps your computer needs an ice pack.
Yeah.
Computer can't
it's
handle
back.
this, like, tense gameplay right now.
Yeah, okay. I am back. So, yeah, Ramon's on Sino now, and looks like they do have Electro Resonance on hand, as well as Send Off, which I'm afraid isn't going to be too useful in this context. Like, there is one summon which can be sent off, which is Ayaka's Burst, although, it's just, you probably won't need to worry too much about that, so I guess Send Off isn't as big of a deal here, since most of Pai's damage is coming from those huge normal attacks.
Seems they are setting
But
up the normal attacks here.
Yeah, Pai getting Gamblers on Chongyun, just really getting ready for that huge next turn. And with Liban getting up those 3 counters there, just gonna add another 2 dice to their starting count. Yeah, Laman's gonna have to watch out this turn, because a lot of damage is gonna be coming in from Pai.
Yeah, Pai's got a lot of cards in his hand now, so this can get
yeah,
very
they do
crowded.
have the 0 cost weapon equip available, so that could be pivotal in helping them break through this situation. Yeah, Parametric Transformer coming out. And Cryo Resonance on Chongyun, which will likely one-shot that Sarah, yep. Picking out Sarah and giving 6 dice back to Chongyun. I mean, giving two dice, but the count is now at 6. Ramon deciding who to switch in now.
Honestly, this feels, to me, at least, still pretty even, since I know it's still at 10 HP, but we have seen before Lamon's Sino getting completely reduced to very low HP from full.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems to have frozen for me again. Oh dear, I might need to look into my Wi-Fi a lot more after this. Okay, I'm back.
We are so back. Oh.
So yeah, looks like they've gone into Mona with that Lotus Flower Crisp there. Yep, one more skill from Chongyun, not quite taking Mona out here. But that Parametric Transformer is going to hit 3 counters now. And Pai's dice is back up to 6. Just a never-ending onslaught of normal attacks here. And also important to keep in mind is they aren't really done yet here either, because there is still the option of using Arcane Covenant of Rock to give another 2 dice at the end of the turn. So we're going to be seeing a lot of normal attacks coming in. And the question is, can Lamon survive? Burst will take out Chongyun. And hoping that Pai doesn't have another Gamblers to put on Ayaka, who will definitely be coming in here.
Oh, can they put the Gamblers on Yoimiya instead? Oh, and Mona has just died.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, Gamblers on probably more value on like the cryo units, considering how the reaction damage in Melt is coming from Yoimiya's burst, which can only be triggered by other characters other than Yoimiya. So yeah, in most cases, the Gamblers is going to be put on the cryo units.
I mean, honestly, it still. I think Lamon can definitely still come back here, but it's like Pai has so many cards in the back there, so it's kind of scary thinking about what they might be able to do with those.
Yeah, and slightly off topic, but someone in chat asked what Sarah's talent card does. So we were actually talking about it just now. What her talent card does is it activates when you use her skill. So once you cast it, yeah, and they just drew it. So once you cast it, Sarah will use her skill, and it will have an additional effect on the boost from her Crow Feather cover stacks, but only for Electro characters. So this is actually in relation to Sarah's C6, which gives additional crit damage to Electro party members. So basically what it does, it just adds 1 extra damage boost to Crow Feather cover if the teammate is Electro. So yeah, that's what a talent card does. Previously it was tied to a burst, which as you can probably guess wasn't the strongest. But because her burst is pretty tough to get out in a normal game, and by then the boost is a little redundant, but now they have tied it to a skill, which is just so much stronger as you get a whole additional 1 damage boost per consumption.
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be getting to see that Sarah skill.
Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, less fortunate game for Lamon this round, I would say.
Yeah, it was still very interesting to see Lamon's deck play out, because it is quite interesting of a deck. And honestly, I was hoping to see more Sino action, but unfortunately, the Ayamiya just does too much damage.
Yeah, Ayamiya as a whole is hitting so hard into Lamon's deck here. The Electro Charge spread damage just not quite cutting it, unfortunately. Both decks are actually pretty similar, I would say. They both rely on like getting individual characters buffed up and to deal significant amounts of damage. Although Pai's deck is just really concentrated into that one turn kill turn, so that they can just really take out the entire opposing team before they realize what's happening.
Yeah, Pai also,
course,
I believe, had a lot of their cards that they needed at their disposal near the end there, which meant they quickly took out Lamon's deck, which was unfortunate for Lamon.
Yeah, so I mean, there's still the thing about luck with the cards and RNG. So I would say Pi got pretty lucky with the card RNG here, getting gamblers and parametric transformer when they needed it. That was really good, and yeah,
They did
just
also
getting the right cards when you need it.
they did also get Legend of Vanessa, which I believe they used to get the gamblers using the strategize with the dice from
Yeah,
Legend of
that is
Vanessa.
also really good. I didn't manage to see that because my screen was frozen because of my Wi-Fi.
I think
But
your
yeah.
Wi-Fi needs an ice pack.
Yeah, it does, probably. I think it's likely because my mom is watching a movie outside in the living room. That
Surely
might be
shut
eating
the
away at the
movie off.
Wi-Fi a little. Mom, I'm casting for GITCG!
Stop watching the movie, watch my stream instead.
Imagine if my mom just pops up in chat right now, that would be hilarious.
Mom's gonna give you feedback on your casting.
Zillowy, you sound like ass.
And we are going into our next match here.
Awesome.
I believe we've seen one of these people before, but we have to see the names to confirm. We have DVD versus Shin once again.
Oh, nice. Unfortunately, my screen is bugging out again. I might have to check on this.
Might have to really tell
My
Mom to stop
apologies.
watching that movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna troubleshoot a little on my end, see what I can do.
Alright. Oh god. Every time I see Shin, I see that card back and it just terrifies me. It is interesting to see Shin back though again, because honestly, it's a very unique deck. And Zillow is still troubleshooting, I believe, on their end, so they will be silent for a bit.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Gonna
Mic peak.
disconnect and join back in real quick.
Yeah, well, they're
I
disconnected.
think Kojo did just
And
refresh it.
my page.
Yeah, I refreshed it. I will give
Yeah.
it some time though. Let's get on to the match though. We got Shin versus DVD.
By the way, I don't have a co-host anymore.
What? What about me? What's it called? Oh wait, I was muted in Discord. Oh my god, I immediately stepped in. Okay, anyway.
Kojo!
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Anyways, we got DVD versus Shin. I did want to feature this match because DVD is also someone who is in our stream room who I haven't got the chance to feature. So I had Shin do their perspective. Just based on the match result. But anyway, we were going in. We got a Klee and Yanfei. Now we haven't seen this at all today. What are your thoughts on Yanfei? You like her?
Oh, I mean, if we're talking about outside of TCG, not
Yeah, we
really. But
What?
I'm not familiar
How dare
with.
you.
Okay, I don't like her design personally, but I'm not too familiar on what she does in TCG, like what her skills are.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yanfei, when she came to the TCG, she was actually completely overshadowed by Klee, because they have sort of the same playstyle, right? You know, they both do charge attacks in the main game and the side game, but what's it called? You know, recently Yanfei actually received a buff where she can now draw cards with her abilities, which is very interesting, and I want to see if this comes into play with this stuff here.
I mean, honestly, this feels like TCG has completely reversed Yanfei and Klee, considering what is in the main game, Yanfei completely overshadowed Klee.
Yeah, definitely.
Here...
Yeah, it's Klee does have a lot of skill-based. It's called. I don't know. Well, yeah, it does have a lot of like skill things you have to deal with when you're playing inside the main game. In this game, in the TCG though, she is quite overpowered, or well, quite good. And there goes Bennett. Goodbye.
Also seems like Zillow might be back. Question mark.
Yeah, so unfortunately I'm still having connection issues. So I am gonna have to unfortunately sit this one out. Thanks a lot, Kojo, for stopping in for me.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'm so happy that these two new casters are doing so well. Don't we all think they're doing well, guys? Give them a hand. But anyways, we're gonna be rolling right back into this match. Both B and Klee and Bennett are gone. Wipe Mondstadt off the map, and now it's just down to the other two.
We do still have Mona in terms of monster representation.
Yeah, she gets to be immune because she's Hydra. She slid away. Whee!
Does the Electro Cube count as Mondstadt?
Who knows? It might count as a Mondstadt, it might count as Inazuma. It could be either. But there it goes. Speaking of Cube, there it goes, and takes out Yanfei and receives some Gambler's Dice from that. And, oh wait, Ann and I haven't lost yet. Oh my goodness, Shin just dunked on them. Ain't no way. DVD is definitely looking at a difficult spot to get out of this situation. They may damage Cube with their summons, but Mona is sitting on only 3 HP, and I'm not really sure what else DVD has in their set in the back. Ooh, Toji, you notice the gold card back, but I think once we flip over, I think you'll notice something a little different
it was
on the other side.
On DVD's cards?
Yep.
I've never seen that card back before,
That
actually.
is the
I know.
exclusive Fortress of Meripede card. You have to complete the oh so wonderful quest to get it.
Oh.
Yeah, it is
quest. It's a quest backing. Huh?
Yeah, it's a quest locked card, just like the other cards. But regardless, I mean, I think it looks the coolest. It's designed after Risley, so. Oh wow!
I see. Oh.
Did you see that? DVD is just
Wait, they. Oh yeah, they used up the revival blessing. Oh, well.
Yeah. What's it called? They were able to use a energy gen into burst. However, of course, once they Cube can revive themselves, so they just Shin just hit right back. So GG's to them. And what's it called? Yeah, I think. Let me check the time right now. I think we're. We might squeeze in one more match. We will see. I'll let them know. But Zillowy is back, so I'm gonna dip back now. Goodbye.
Yes,
Kojo
I'm back.
disappeared.
Thank you so much, Kojo.
What?
Yeah, so my stream did come back for that last part, and wow, that was really exciting, you know. Seeing Shin again just steamrolling through enemy cards with that Electro Hypostasis Bennett deck. Was
Yeah,
really
very
fun to watch.
interesting to see Shin again. I do really like Shin's deck, honestly. And of course,
yeah, I quite.
very hard to ignore that gold card backing.
Yeah, it does really catch the eye and adds to that intimidation factor. I can personally attest to that. Someone literally used the exact same deck against me in the Asia Weekly just yesterday. That gold card back just shining in my eyes.
Gold card back of Doom. It is so pretty though.
Yeah, it is. Definitely a badge of honor if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I would have to say, though, still the max level card back, the Diona, the Cat's Tail one, is probably still my favorite. It's pink.
Ah yeah, the bright pink one. Oh
But
wait, is it the orange one?
no, I think it is the pink one. Yeah.
Ah, yeah,
But
the bright pink one. That is definitely
I think
unique.
the gold one does come out as a close second for me in terms of card backings. But pink wins.
Yeah, pink is definitely a color.
And then I'm still hoping to see maybe a Pyro Kaching deck here because we do have 3 people playing Pyro Kaching here, so hoping we get to see a Pyro Kaching match.
Yeah, that would definitely be really fun to see, especially after all the Bennett Cube interactions. Oh, and our next match is here.
With
Lyric is
Lyric
back.
again.
Yep, the resident Diona chef is back to impart their wisdom upon us. And they're up against Shenhe
We'll see in a
Superconduct,
second.
one of the strongest decks, I would say, in the previous patch.
Oh,
No,
it looks like it's it looked like it's Lyric versus Martin Z, which interesting because both of them are very seasoned players in TCG.
Yep, I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of really well-informed plays this game. So yeah, Martin Z opening up as you'd probably expect, with Raiden's skill, get that electro damage summon off at the very start. Lyric just going straight to building Bennett's Burst. Interestingly, they I believe they drew Nilou by casting Dunyazad, so they probably didn't expect that, which is why they started out with Bennett. Would have been really fortunate if they had that Nilou in their initial hand, which would give Bennett so much more leeway in terms of building up energy.
We do have Martin Z's deck on the side there, just for everyone's viewing perusal.
Ah, yes. So Martin Z's deck looking like, what you'd expect from a Shenhe Superconduct team. Quite notably, they are using Fresh Wind of Freedom, which will give that potential double kill in the later game once they get all their buffs set up. So a refresher in case anyone in chat doesn't know, what Fresh Wind of Freedom does, it basically, if you kill if you take out an opposing card during this turn, you will keep the turn priority and can act one more time. So this can be really potent when you want to completely sweep through the opponent without worrying of a revenge kill or them getting I haven't lost yet off. So yeah, Martin already having Raiden and Shenhe summons up, so they are in a really powerful spot here to start dishing damage out to Lyric's team.
Doesn't look like Lyric has any way to remove those summons either.
Yeah, no send off on hand, so that Shenhe summon is going to stay.
Both sides are very limited in terms of cards right now, honestly.
Yeah, they are all going all out here. And it looks like Lyric did sacrifice their Bennett's talent from their hand in order to get some better dice. Diona at a really low amount of HP now, really dangerous. We might be seeing the value that her shield might give in a situation like this, where you just need a little bit more survivability to push through. But again, just a really tough spot. Yep, Diona talent come in just when you need it. Might be clutch here. Oh, and drawing another food card too, that's good.
In the cap.
Come on, Diona. Okay, bringing Raiden down to 6. I love how we're just cheering for Diona here. The underdog.
I can't help it. I do love Diona. Oh, and looks like Diona's bursting here.
Yeah, that heal is coming out here. Lyric definitely hoping that Martin Z doesn't have a fast swap, and which they don't. They are slow swapping to Shenhe, which will allow Diona to swap out safely. But Bennett is going to be staring down that Chongyun burst right now.
Once again, we have Lyric's deck on the side, in case anyone needed a refresher on what their deck was.
Yeah,
and looks like Bennett has just gone down.
Coming out, yeah, and Martin Z did use that Fresh Wind of Freedom there, so the turn priority is still with them, allowing them to end first and go first on the next turn. Lyric not having any of that though, going straight for the agent kill on Chongyun. That Diona summon is going to be healing agent up by a significant amount. Now the question is, can Lyric push through 7 HP Shenhe and a 5 HP Raiden with just agent and Diona? Oh, and drawing Lotus Flower Crystal now is also really huge from Lyric, because that's going to add so much more survivability in this late game scenario. Honestly, I'd say anything goes at this point.
Yeah, looking at I mean, it's hard to see exactly how it'll go, just because, I mean, there is still very limited cards, but we don't know exactly what Martin Z has. But
yeah, so you see that Lyric is going straight back into Diona here, possibly refreshing that shield or even casting Paimon, who knows. Yep, Shenhe summon is coming up, and again, Lyric does not have send off to get rid of those summons. So going to be taking a lot of really painful damage here at the end of this turn. Having Paimon on hand in the late game too isn't exactly the greatest option here when you want more on hand value. Oh, Adaptive Temptation coming could be quite huge, although I'm not sure if it's going to be too useful against what Martin Z has, considering a Pyrolector Burst will just one shot whatever they have regardless of any heals or Lotus Flower Crisp.
Despite the
quite putting
Paimon,
Diona out there.
it does seem like Lyric is getting a lot of the cards that they would want here.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, Shenhe getting Gamblers, this is huge.
Oh, bye-bye, Diona.
But Lyric does have this. Oh dear, do they have another option for damage here? Doesn't look like it. Yep, that is going to be a win for Martin Z here by a breath.
Yeah, that was very close, but Martin Z did pull out.
Really close game, and really well played by both sides again.
That was honestly a very, very close game once again. I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but that's because so many of them were so close.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. We are seeing a lot of really clever plays by the contestants this week, and like all the games are just pulling really close. Like we've just had one where Martin Z's Raiden was only at 2 HP. If Lyric had a Woven or anything that would give one more dice in that scenario, it would be his win. But yeah, it was super close for both sides, and yeah, amazingly well played.
And with that, let's take another look at the bracket just to see how everyone's doing.
Yeah. Wonder if we'll have any 5-0s this week.
There were 4 people with 3-0s earlier, right? So there is the chance for a 5-0. We have pretty good chances so far, I believe. But yeah, we can go and take a look at the bracket. Last EU, I believe there wasn't a 5-0, right?
Oh yeah, then they had to have more games.
Yeah, we did get unlucky last time, you guys cacted, but not this time, because we do have a 5-0 incoming, and I'll slide down to it right now.
Ooh.
Use my mouse.
A little far down. But we do have both Max and Vesta, and I can't pronounce that, but we have 3 people with 4-0s right now. I believe Kojo said that we do have one 5-0 incoming, so interesting to see which one of the 3 that 5-0 will be. We do also have a lot of players at 3-0, 3-1, so everyone's been performing very well overall.
Yeah, and hold on, wait, this is round 5, isn't it?
Yeah. There is a 5-0 coming through, I believe. I'm not sure which of the 3 players it'll be that have 4-0s right now, but one of them will be getting a 5-0, so we'll be seeing that shortly.
Yeah. And they are wonderful $10 prize. As well as that chance, to get into majors. All they need is another 3-2 this week. So I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing them in majors this patch.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who it'll be, of course, but with that, we will be going to break here.
Yeah, we'll be taking another break, I believe.
Very excited to see what will be happening once we come back.
Take a little break after all the excitement we've been having. All these games have been really intense.
I think Zillow's PC needs to take a break too.
Yeah, true. It's probably gonna give out steam any second now.
That movie's really doing a number on your Wi-Fi, huh? We are so back. Alright.
Hi, we are back. And yeah, this will be our final round, I believe. We've got some really interesting players heading towards that potential 5-0. You know, we have Vesta, who is hold on 1 second.
Vesta, I believe, is a top 8 player in the Prince Cup, and so very good player, and also I believe another owner of the terrifying gold card backing.
Yeah, the truly intimidating thing to see on your screen. And yeah, and they are also using a Nilou Moon, so they might be the first Nilou Moon we see that gets a 5-0 in this patch. So yeah, looking forward to it. Oh, we can see both players at the best.
And not sure if we'll be going into the game there, but they are going against Miji, and it'll be very exciting to see a 5-0, the very first 5-0 for Nilou Bloom, especially. Not only just because it is such a new deck, but also from such a good player, since they are a Prince Cup top 8. And we can see there, they do have that gold backing. The gold backing of Doom.
We will be seeing this.
And this is their match against Miji.
Miji with quite an interesting deck, Raiden, Bennett, and Xiao. So you have that, not only do you have that huge damage boost from Bennett, you also have the possibility of Xiao swinging Electro on Pyro or vice versa, which is quite a lot of off-field damage, almost like a Studio Scaramouche, you could say. So yeah, Xiao burst together with Bennett's burst makes for quite a strong hit on his skill, and if you have, not sure what Miji's deck is, of course, but if you have Xiao's talent card, there is just a lot of heavy hits that are going to be coming in the same turn. Let's start opening up with Baizhu, as we've seen a few times before in the other Ningguang Moon players. Solid choice gets that Dendrification up, as we've said before. And it looks like Miji is just charging up their Raiden burst here at the start. With the treasure seeking Xingli there, getting those stacks up to possibly draw more cards later.
Seems like Miji's... This is not exactly a duke out between two top 8 players, but Miji does seem to be using a deck that was also used by a top 8 Prince Cup player. So will be interesting to see those two decks duking it out. And of course, there is Miji's deck on the side there for anyone who is curious about it.
Yeah, so Miji's deck, as you can see, you have both Bennett and Xiao's talent cards in there, and Moon Piercer. So Moon Piercer can be used on both Raiden and Xiao. So this combo is notably used by another very strong player called Injagi. He is a really skilled player. I've been tormented by him several times in the Asia weeklies. And yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with, so if this deck was used by him before, I'm pretty sure we are going to be seeing some really terrifying damage output from it. And yeah, Miji has Legend of Vanessa in their deck as well, so we could potentially be seeing those like high damage Xiao normal attacks, which sort of makes sense. You've got the when you've got Xiao and Bennett's burst up, your normal attacks just really hit like a truck. And also a notable thing is that he has an additional boost to plunging attacks, which is in the TCG context is when you switch in. If your first attack is a plunging attack, if your first attack is a normal attack, after switching in, that is considered a plunging attack. So yeah, that counts. That also counts with Legend of Vanessa. So that's one possible thought process there.
And we do have Vesta's deck once again, in case anyone needs a refresher on Vesta's deck.
Yep, so we've been seeing this quite a few times today, the typical support cards you would see in an aggressive deck, and Hydro Resonance to keep everyone healthy. Notably, they have Storm Terrace layer up, which does help with getting those talent cards that you do need in the game, like between Nilou, since her talent card is just such a very, very powerful damage boost.
Yeah, we have been seeing a lot of similar decks, but Vesta's, I believe, is the only possible 5-0 out of those.
Yeah, and notably, thanks to Kojo for pointing it out, Gambler's Earrings is being run by Vesta in this deck, which is something we did not see previously in the other decks. So it's definitely an interesting card that could come in really, really clutch late game. As for the hands, well, back to the game right now, Vesta does have double Quick Knit on hand. So that's just really access to a ton of bountiful core damage. But it looks like Vesta doesn't have Ningguang's talent up yet though, so they might be saving those 2 Quick Knits for when they do get Ningguang's talent card up. And Miji has avoided quite a lot of damage onto Raiden, seeing that they did cast Lotus Flower Crisp on the first turn to prevent that 3 damage from Ningguang skill at the start. Their bursts are up, having used Raiden's burst into Nilou. So Miji is just really getting ready now to start sweeping with Bennett and Xiao, potentially. Vesta thinking long and hard on what to do here. Those Oceanate summons really will need to be lucky. No George here, as you can see.
George, the people's
So,
champion.
less than ideal. Yeah, so not getting George there on the double summon is a little unfortunate. You do lose some value from the double application being wasted into Bennett. But yeah, pretty decent draw here, you know, changing shifts and toss up. Nothing game changing. Of course, they're probably like a Nilou talent sooner or later, but it looks like it's not coming to their hand just yet. And we've got Lieben proccing on both sides. Miji
Double
now
count
fully
on.
poised to just set up their Bennett burst and switch into Xiao's burst. Which leaves Vesta just wondering, you know, how are they gonna get those bountiful cores up and running when you're under the threat of such high damage from Xiao.
Yeah, Vesta, I mean, they have a lot of cards right now, but the dice are looking a bit rough there. Like, they do
Yeah,
have
and
3
I believe
on me,
Xiao's
but
Yeah, I believe Xiao's burst will be enough to one-shot Baizhu should he even switch in here. And you know, with Pyro on Oceanate and Electro on Nilou, that's just gonna be a ton of damage taken no matter what Vesta does here. So casting that toss up, getting, I would say, more favorable dice. And they have the Calx's Arts here. They will lose value from that energy loss there, seeing that Baiju's burst is only 2 cost. But well, they're considering the options here. They are in the lead in terms of dice. And what Miji has to keep in mind is that should they switch to Xiao and burst, they can't really stay in because those summons are going to be doing a ton of damage at the end phase. So they'll likely have to be sacrificing one character here. Okay, Gamblers and Xiao Talent coming out there, this is huge. And Baizhu goes down. Yeah, this is looking like a really, really rough spot for Vesta here. With the only source of Dendro being on Raiden, which Miji definitely has no intent of switching in any time soon. And with Xiao Talent up, that 11 static wind cycling is only gonna cost 2 dice. And it's just gonna hit into Oceanate, swirl onto Ningguang, just dealing a ton of damage with those damage boosts.
even so, it still looks very rough in terms of dice here for Vesta. Once again, it's just the 2 especially because Baizhu's down, so those Dendro dice are not very worth much now.
Yeah, you know, Vesta does have Vesta's
they do
Travel
have
Companion
Paimon,
on hand
yeah.
should they need it. Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
4 possible Omnidon. Well,
Yeah.
4 in total.
Well, there is the possibility of a Vesta using Caltus Arts here to get that Oceanid Burst and just nuke straight into Xiao. Should Miji not switch out? I think Miji also knows this, you know. Assuming they did read Vesta's deck list. I hope they did. Yeah. So yeah, might be seeing an Oceanid Burst happening here with 3 summons on the field. And is it enough to take out the Xiao? I'm not too sure. I believe it's not exactly enough, but it will be a huge hit nonetheless. Yeah, massive damage coming out onto both sides. And here it comes. Oceanid Burst.
A lot of damage there, but not enough to take out Xiao.
Yep, 7 damage. So after the Oceanid buff, this is now 7. It used to be 8 previously. Because yeah, previously it did 2 damage base with +2 for every summon. Now I believe it is 4 damage base with +1 for every summon. So just slightly reducing the nuking potential there. And yeah, you know, interesting play from Vesta there using Quick Knit onto George. So that's like 1 extra damage reduction there.
George, he's back.
Yeah, you know, interestingly, Vesta ending the turn on 1 dice, even though they could have used Lieben. Of course, it's understandable, you know, they probably don't think they're going to be surviving more than 1 more turn in this situation.
Yeah, that is fair.
So probably just better to keep it for additional dice fixing later on. Oh, interestingly though, never mind. Had Miji ended the turn on Raiden there, that would have been a free Bloom Core for Vesta. But yep, they are not going to be letting that happen. It's just too much damage on the other side. Oh, plunge attack. Yeah, that is going to be taking
unfortunately,
Vesta
that is
out.
the end for Vesta.
No 5-0 this week, unfortunately.
We are not getting our Nilou 5-0. Unfortunate. So yeah, no Nilou 5 here, which a bit sad, but still, both players did very well, and congratulations to Miji for winning.
Oh yeah, and it looks like Miji is getting a 5-0 here.
Oh wait, Miji. Oh wait, yeah. I forgot. Miji was also a 4-0. Yeah. Forgot. Yeah, Miji will be getting a 5-0 here.
Both sides. Yeah, so Miji will be our 5-0 here. And I'm not sure if there is another.
There may be with Max, I believe.
Yeah, we'll have to see the bracket for that. But yeah, congratulations to Miji for the first 5-0 for EU this week. That was a really intense game.
Yeah, not sure if Max is getting a 5-0, but we will see soon enough. If they are. Yeah. But yeah, congratulations for Miji for the 5-0. Unfortunately, no Nilou Bloom 5-0.
Yeah, I suppose we could talk about the game we just saw. You know, like I think like Vesta not drawing Nilou's talent when it was needed definitely probably affected that a lot. Together with the Baizhu just not getting that much Dendro application up around the board. So yeah, that probably contributed quite a bit to the loss. Yeah, it's just a shame, you know, again, card RNG, we've seen it a few times before between Geodex and now Ningguang Bloom just really wanting her talent card.
You gotta really pray to the gacha gods for it.
Yeah, you know, they did even get that Storm Terrace layer at the end, which they could have used to draw a Nilou talent, but by then it was just, you know, too late, and the bountiful claw damage wouldn't really have saved the game there.
Yeah, they
So
got both
yeah, still,
Libin and the Storm Terror's lair, but it was on the turn that they lost. So unfortunate.
yeah, and of course, well played by Miji, you know, managing those Hydro and Dendro auras, making sure no one gets a reaction where they shouldn't be getting one, and just, you know, perfectly setting up that Bennett Xiao sweep.
Yeah, Miji did very well there.
And, you know, they did quite an interesting play at the end, you know, where they double swapped first before ensuring that it was safe to go to Xiao to get that discounted plunge attack to end the game. You know, you never know when your opponent may have a secret card up their sleeve, so, you know, just to play it safe, I suppose that's why they double swapped first. Or, you know, they could just be doing what they have on hand to pass the time.
It
was an
also
amazing game.
It was definitely also interesting because once again, what was it? Vesta is a Prince Cup top 8 player, and Miji was using a deck that was used by another top 8 player from the Prince Cup. So very interesting to see those two go at it.
Yeah, we got to see a battle between two very, very powerful players, and yeah, really lucky of us to be able to commentate on that.
And I don't think we'll be seeing Max's final here, but Max is running the Nahida EC deck, which I am if I'm not looking at this wrong at least, which I am excited to see if Max gets a 5-0 because I do love Nahida, and it is, I believe, one of 2 Nahida EC decks and one of 3 Nahida teams.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just it would be a really good show of just, you know, the player's skill and using such a well-established deck to just secure 5-0s even after the meta has changed so much. So yeah, it would be great to see.
Yeah, I'm really
Still
hoping.
a shame that we didn't get to see Nilou.
Yeah, but I am really hoping that Max also gets a 5-0. Not only obviously because then
Yep.
we'll have 2 5-0s, but also once again for Nahida, because I do love Nahida. She is very cute.
Yep, indeed. And just such an absolute menace as well, you know, with how her burst doesn't actually do damage in game. In the side game, as we would call it. But in TCG, it's just a giant nuke.
I mean, she's a giant menace in both versions, in both the side game and the main
True.
game as a character.
And
So
someone should draw a fan art of Nahida in TCG, just grabbing the entire shrine and slamming on the opponents.
and I believe we'll have the winners decks coming up soon.
Yep.
Oh, there
And
we
here we are.
Oh, it does look like we have
Max
2 5-0s.
Get the 5-0.
With
well, congratulations to both sides.
Yeah, we have Miji with the Xiao Hyper Carry and Max with the Nahida Electro Charge for our 2 5-0s for 4.2 EU weeklies. Number 1. And I do believe we have a lot of possible 4-1s, but not sure
we
yet,
are
of
gonna
course.
see a really interesting leaderboard for this week, I would say. Been a lot of fun games today, you know, especially with the emergence of so many Ningguang Bloom decks. We even still managed to see a double Geo mirror. So yeah, we are definitely eating well today.
Honestly, I'm a bit surprised we didn't get another Nilou Bloom mirror, considering, well, our very first match was a Nilou Bloom mirror. But yeah, I was very surprised that we didn't have any more Nilou Bloom mirror rounds.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, end of the day, both of our 5-0s are not Nilou Bloom Nilou Blooms, unfortunately. So we do not have a Nilou Bloom top for the first time here in EU. But yeah, once again, congratulations to Meiji and Max for their 5-0s.
Yep. And I'm back. Hopefully my audio isn't too bad. My headphones just ran out of battery.
This is why you use wired earbuds, guys.
Yeah, I know. All right.
I think we will be moving to ending the stream now.
Alright, so now that we are at the end of our wonderful first week of the EUGI TCG, thanks to everyone watching. If you want to join tournaments and or the community, you can find us everywhere below. We will have a patch schedule soon, so keep an eye out for that.
And of course, a shout out to KQM, our partners, and CT. Of course, a shout out to our partners as well, KQM and CTG. They've been supporting GITCG in a lot of ways, and please help support them back by checking them out as well. And I believe that is it.
Yeah, it's been real fun today. Just joining in on all the games and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
been
think
really
that
awesome.
will be it from me and Zillowy today. Thank you all for
That
coming
should
to
wrap
watch
it
the
up.
stream. And
Thanks
bye-bye.
everyone for coming. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios.